We welcome you to semifinal Friday here at the World Ultimate Club Championships in Southern Ohio. Picture perfect ultimate conditions and an incredible matchup. 8-0 Ring of Fire representing USA. The 7-1 Mooncatchers representing Belgium. There are two European teams in the semis. Clapham on the other side taking on Pony. But the game of the tournament so far was Mooncatchers defeating Sockeye to get to this stage. Hi again, everybody. It's great to be with you. Evan Lepler with Liam Grant. Ring of Fire, the #1 seed. It's no huge surprise that they are here, but Mooncatchers, the darlings of the tournament, they have captivated the hearts of everyone, Liam, with their joy, with their style, and perhaps most importantly, with their talent.
Yeah, the Cinderella story continues for this Belgian side. They're fantastic to watch. I think I've watched all their games in this tournament. Had a really rocky road to get to the semi-final, taking down the likes of Goat, Furious George, Rhino Slam, and they've grown with confidence in every game.
Their last two games have both been Universe Point 15-14 thrillers, including yesterday when Sockeye actually had the disc at 12-all with an opportunity to take the lead for the first time since it was 2-1, but Sockeye turned it over on the goal line. Arvids Orlaskis was the hero in the deep space after Gal Ancelon came on with a foot block after an injury timeout, and just this scene was absolutely incredible. It was pandemonium on the field. Here's the hand block from Ancelon, and then the game-winning shot, Arders to Orlaskis.
Yeah, chatted to Arders about this throw, and he said it was a mismatch. I think Quan was on Orlaskis, and he said, I was just going to lob it up to him. Ended up being a perfect throw and didn't have to use his height in the end, but I think he was just looking for his big man in that Universe Point. Not a bad idea.
And it was teams from all over the world charging the field, creating a scene of bedlam. Ref Yonkers so critical to this Belgian squad, but they have two American pickups, a couple French pickups. Arvids Orlaskis, though, the Latvian sensation. He's young. It's almost like he doesn't realize he should be intimidated by this moment.
Yeah, I think that's been part of their success, is kind of almost a naive braveness they have no fear of anyone.
Let's talk about the matchup notes. For Ring of Fire, their reset pressure, Liam, has been a dominant force with Elijah Long and Suraj Mataraju, Seth Weaver pressuring the handlers of the opponent. And then they have an army of defenders. They're D1, D2, D3. They can just keep rolling out fresh sevens to try and fluster the Mooncatchers. So it's an important early start. What's key for the Belgians?
I think they're just riding the lightning now. They're enjoying every game. They're fresh. They've only really been playing one game a day. I think, reflecting last night after the Seattle game, I think they wanted it more than Seattle. I think that's maybe one of the reasons they won. I think for a lot of the U.S. teams, they're thinking about maybe double peaking, or some of them have an eye on U.S. nationals, and that can be used to the advantage of this Mooncatchers side.
Well, it's been an unforgettable run, but Noah Saul, who was not here earlier in the tournament, the emotional fulcrum of this Ring team for such a long time, and Ring, a perennial national championship contender in the United States, but they had never won before in the 3 decades of the program until last October when they edged New York's Pony by 1 in a very even, hotly contested, down-to-the-wire game. Ring is incredibly young, incredibly hungry, and they have just shredded their competition by and large, Liam. So far in the tournament, Ring has outscored their opponents 120-65. Their closest game thus far has been 15-13. That was a score against Goat and Clapham. No other game among the 8 has been closer than 15-10.
I think they would have benefited from the Clapham game. They went down 4-1 at the start of that, and that just kicked them into gear, and it's good to have that kind of a test early on in the tournament. We talk about that defensive pressure around the handlers. What Mooncatchers have to do is probably scuba their way out of it or use their big shots. I think that's how they deal with that situation, is trust their big guys downfield. And it was an incredible victory yesterday. Saw footage of some pubs in Brussels, the roof being raised. I think the beer sales have skyrocketed in the greater Brussels area.
Well, it's a historic moment for the Mooncatchers. Can they keep the dream alive? They'll start on offense, and Ben Yonkers, who has been hurt in each of the last 2 Universe Point wins, continues to find miraculous healing powers to return to the field the next day.
Yeah, he's been carrying a small shoulder injury. I think anytime he ends up on the ground, he's just a little bit worried and has come off the field, but delighted to have him back here. The Yonkers brothers, a joy to watch. And we're off in this semi-final.
Mooncatchers beginning on offense in the white. The starting ring D-line includes Eric Taylor, Jonathan Nethercutt, and Liam Searles-Bowes. They'll be matched up with the handlers. Downfield, Charlie McCutcheon, Ethan Bloodworth, Jacob Fairfax, and Seth Weaver on the cutters. And it's Fairfax who has the task of chasing the towering Ref Yonkers, whose low throw is dug up beautifully by Victor Oczynski. And there's another contested grab made by Matthew Muller. You can feel the defensive pressure just on these first few throws, but they handle it well and then drop the disc in the end zone through the fingertips of Christoph Phillips.
It was a perfect start to the game, except for the drop in the end zone. We saw him yesterday have a disastrous start. That looked like a perfect offensive point, but giving the disc to ring.
And Jonathan Nethercutt bluffs a huck toward Fairfax, resets for Weaver. Searles-Bowes to Nethercutt. Ring trying to get to its first World Championship final. And Searles-Bowes uncorks, looking for Bloodworth. Bloodworth hauls it in just shy of the goal line, skying Oczynski. And the flip to Taylor is good for ring. What a swing.
Bloodworth clutching onto the claws there. That was a lot of defensive pressure coming from Oczynski. It looks like he might even got a hand to it. Bloodworth holding on strong, and that is a break. That's how the game started yesterday.
Shocking.
Yeah, almost too easy, that catch. And relentless, this ring D-line.
They have so many offensive playmakers that have also made a mark defensively. And that has really been the difference against every one of their opponents, especially that Clapham game. The D-line just went on a string, scored 5 points in a row at one instance in the game after trailing 4-1.
You saw Eric Taylor on the screen there. He was one of my 2 players that I thought might make the USA World Games team. I did little pick'ems of my 7. Him and Rafi Hayes were 2 that I picked that didn't make the squad.
They were both alternates, to your credit and to their credit.
I have a feeling that we might see them in China. Definitely still have a lot of their careers to play.
No question about it. It's only 3 years away, too. You only have to wait 3 years for the next World Games in Chengdu. Here's Ben Yonkers. Had a tough couple of days with the shoulder, but looks smooth on that throw. Paul Arters, Ref Yonkers back to his younger brother. Searles-Bowes on Ben Yonkers, on Ref Yonkers this point. It's Suraj Mataraju on Ben. And Ref Yonkers shooting it, and that's a nice leaping one-handed snag in the end zone for the Mooncatchers, beating Noah Saul deep, Benoit Spoppins. And you were saying before the game, Liam, just how much this run means to the veteran Spoppins.
Yeah, I think every win they've had this tournament has been the best day and best game of his life, but it just keeps on continuing. He wants this one to be the same. One of those veterans on the team, hasn't played a huge amount, but actually comes on for this O-line if they get broken. A very smart offensive player, and a really great guy as well. Would have coached a lot of these younger players actually on the team right now. Wearing that old school Mooncatchers cap.
So a good start for Spoppins. After they were broken, they do respond and hold cleanly. And now we see the ring O-line for the first time with Saul Yannick, Matt Gushohannes, Jack Williams, Ryan Oscar, Terrence Mitchell, Dylan Lanier, and Henry Fisher. And there is a slight surprise not to see Johnny Bansfield on the point for the first Mooncatchers D point of the game.
They seem to have two D-lines, this Mooncatcher side. One kind of Latvian heavy, which we're seeing now, and then a Gail Onsalon, Johnny Bansfield line.
Lanier from Osgar. Flips it down for Mitchell. Jack Williams won gold in Alabama just a couple weeks ago. Williams, the game-winning goal in the gold medal game against Australia, and he'll get the hockey assist here. The big emphatic spike from Saul Yannick, and Ring's O-line without much resistance drives it down.
In cruise control, the Ring offense moving downwind, and we wonder how much that break will matter, that early break in the first point for Ring. We saw it happen yesterday in the Mooncatcher Sockeye game. Mooncatchers basically just handing them a break in the first pass. I think a lot of people on the sideline were worried it'd be a blowout. It certainly wasn't that. So maybe Mooncatchers like to cough one up early, just get that out of the system.
It was interesting, Liam, to see Noah Saul doing the talking in the huddle, because he wasn't here earlier in the tournament, and Saul Yannick is also another guy who's very comfortable leading and setting that tone in the pregame conversation. Well, there are some Ring fans here, but I don't think there's any question who the crowd favorite is, despite the fact that we are playing in the US of A.
Yeah, Mike Donardis talked about, actually throughout the tournament, most of the fans have been cheering for them. I guess they've been an old sideline, they have family and friends here. He said this actually be the first game, will be the unpopular ones, but Ring always happy to lean into that, I think.
That has been their identity for a long time. And they still have that identity some, although it admittedly changes when you win. And they are the hunted in a different way. Good disc movement and a pick in the middle of the field as Phillips makes the clean catch this time.
You can see this nice Ring D-line looks kind of wary of the deep shots from Mooncatchers, very much forcing them under those first few passes.
Ben Dameron showing the quick hands with his hat. Here's Mueller. Ring throws a bunch of different defensive looks at you, but so far these last couple points have been handled beautifully, and really the first one was handled beautifully too, just a drop in the end zone. Clean score there though for Phillips, and we're tied 2-all.
Both offenses now finding their rhythm.
Quick points early on, Liam.
Just using the whole space there. Mooncatchers like that big swing, missing the center handler, stretching the field. They play big Belgian ball. And there is unknown quantity, this Mooncatcher side. I think for all the US teams, it's probably in their favor they haven't played Ring yet in this tournament. You saw Sockeye kind of figuring them out as the game went on. I think that unknown quantity is a big advantage for them.
And it's amusing to me and interesting, Liam, that in our off-air conversations, you've said you think Mooncatchers, I mean, legitimately could win the world title. As Alex Davis goes long, the acceleration speed from Davis, there's no chance for the Belgian defender, Nicolas de Mesmaker. Yannick to Davis, 3-2.
Yannick shooting all the way from downtown, putting that on a plate. Too easy for the Ring of Fire offense. And Mooncatchers can't really afford to do that. Need to put more pressure on this Ring O-line. They haven't really had a contested pass yet.
This is really the first year at the club level that Alex Davis has played a lot of offense. He's been more of a defensive stopper. And he has found a home and been very comfortable playing O, taking care of the disc and using his nuclear speed, which he loves to tell you about. was going to say, though, with Mooncatchers, let's say the European teams both won in the semis. Despite the fact that you think Mooncatchers has a higher ceiling, you kind of like Clapham's chances against them because of their familiarity in the European scene?
Yeah, I think Clapham have their number. Clapham demolished them at the final of the windmill competition in the Netherlands. Now, they didn't have Bansfield and Arders, who are two key players, but I think they know this opposition very well, and the fact that the US teams probably didn't know the Mooncatchers going into the game was an advantage to them.
A tremendous pull from Eric Taylor, and from his own end zone, Ben Yonkers shooting for ref, and he catches it off the tip. Fairfax just missed it. Yonkers missed it the first time too. The hammer to space, a dangerous one, but Spoppins up to the task, driving Belgium down the field.
Benoit Spoppins take a bow. Not the player expected to score two of the first three goals for Mooncatchers, but showing his awareness of spacing, had to dig that one out. That a very difficult catch. Scuba trailing away from him.
The pace we're at, Liam, we could play this game to 30 and get there by 100 minutes. We are zipping back and forth.
Looking forward to that matchup of ref Yonkers and Fairfax. He's taken a few times already. And see him shifting gears there. Benoit Spoppins.
Capable of driving a standard.
Yeah, definitely prefers the manual transmission.
All right, 3-all, only one turn in the first 6 points. It was the drop from Phillips in the end zone. Other than that, the offenses have been flawless. Again, Yannick in the backfield finds Osgar open by a mile. As Bontemps set the mark, it's Mitchell. Mitchell resets Osgar. Osgar was the biggest out-of-town pickup for Ring last year and certainly made a huge difference. Teammates say he's the easiest guy to play with as he just fit in seamlessly in the O-line. Oh, nice grab by Yannick, getting the foot down in. Yannick and Gush Johannes have just this unbelievable unspoken chemistry between one another, built over a couple decades of being friends and teammates and hanging out on and off the field. Here's Mitchell. Takes the easy shot, and then Fisher goes for Oscar, who again has loads of space. Not wanting to take anything too risky, and Ring on the march. Leads 4-3.
Still clean holds from Ring of Fire. That one a little more pressure coming from Mooncatchers, but looking comfortable out there with the big cutters like Henry Fisher eating up the ground. There's been a lot of small ball in this point from Ring. I think that was adjustment with Moon getting beating on the first pass in the last point. They didn't want that to happen again and maybe forcing them under, and Ring obliging.
Not the typical offensive alignment with the majority of the players downfield, 10 to 20 to 25 yards beyond the disc. For the most part of that point, all but two players were within 10 yards of the disc or behind it.
And that was an offensive look that worked really well for Sockeye in the game yesterday. They resorted to small ball with the likes of Quizon Tice and other people taking over, and that proved effective against this very athletic, very tall Mooncatchers D-line.
It took everyone here a while to calm down after that Mooncatchers Sockeye game. Just so many thrills, so many memories. A game that will never be forgotten. But Mooncatchers still with business in front of them.
And that's why we play this sport. I love those games of stacked sidelines, everyone from around the world. They're the precious moments that you remember for a long time.
Mooncatchers, can they top that memory here in the semifinals? Mueller wide open, Hall's in the hammer. Talking about the hammer. And that high release flick connecting with Phillips downfield. Arter's not in yet. Arter's the Chicago kid. Went to Ohio State and has been a huge addition to the O-line. As you said yesterday, Liam, didn't start the tournament on O, but they moved him on midway through, and it's been a nice addition, a good fit, and this 7-man unit is working brilliantly right now. Again, the lone drop on the first point, the lone blemish, but only one turn through the first 8 points for the two teams combined.
Matthew Muller with another fantastic goal. He was a goal machine yesterday. The man who works in a chocolate factory, looking to get his golden ticket to the final. He says he doesn't get free chocolates. I'm hoping to get some after the game.
Well, this Mooncatchers team living in a world of pure imagination, without a doubt, after what they've experienced, entering the tournament as the 29 overall seed. Now, to your credit, you said they were massively underseeded. Why was that the case?
I believe the Mooncatchers were here 4 years ago and had a completely different roster. And those young players like Di Marie and the Yonkers brothers hadn't got onto the scene yet. So that's why the Belgian side and the European side were seeded so low. But things have changed drastically in Brussels.
Oh, Davis had turned his cut around. Oscar still shot it, and there's Ring's first giveaway. Davis was open by a couple steps, but he didn't think the throw was going up. And right when he halted his momentum, Oscar pulled the trigger. First break chance for the Belgians. Once he realized the throw went up, there was nothing he could do. Yannick on the mark, Gal Insolent, one of the leaders of the French World Games team, to initiate. Bansfield out there on the line as well. No Arlovskas this point for the Mooncatchers D, but a good dish. Beekmans, middle of the field. It's Demesmaker. They're more than halfway there, Liam. Beekmans again. Back for Vandenbroek. This would be a massive conversion and a pick downfield.
Yeah, this going upwind, a chance to get that break back. I thought they were going to need to hook it upwind, but they've done well to work it up so far.
Oh, Alex Davis with a block.
They had a few shots on for the end zone there, the Mooncatcher side, but hosted it. I felt like they needed to take one of those shots, even not 100%.
Yannick was fouled on the release, at least according to him. As soon as I say this, Liam, we're going to get a 5-turnover point back and forth, but it feels like this is going to be a low turnover game, and every chance is just so important. Williams underneath for Mitchell. Yannick marked by Bansfield. And Lanier, chased by Vandenbroek, hits Osgar. Williams back in the reset space. This Ring O-line can attack quickly, but they are content to play patient. Calm ultimate as well. Oh, waddly throw from Oscar. Not sure if it was tipped by the defender, Beekmans. Jack Williams absolutely hates turning the disc over. He plays cautiously. And Yannick faking the reset, sees his old teammate Matt Gooch-Johannes from high school open in the end zone, and Gooch with the bum spike to put Ring in front, 5-4.
Mooncatchers had their chance, but Ring fight hard to get it back and punch it in the end. Davis gets his hand in there, showing his pace. And he talks about it a lot, but he got wheels. If you you can walk the walk, you're allowed talk the talk as well. And good faking by Yanok. You can see the Mooncatchers switching a lot around the handlers there, and good intelligent play from Gucci Johannes and Yanok, who two players have known each other for a very long time.
Liam, in the other men's semi-final, Clapham had a chance to break on the opening point. They could not cash in, and Pony now leads 4-1 over the top team from Great Britain.
Definitely bookies' favorite would have to be a Ring and Pony final, but if you've been betting against the Mooncatchers so far, you would have lost a lot of money.
Well, they're the sentimental pick right now, that's for sure. Ref Yonkers. And he'll rip it long. It's a floater. Mueller and Searles Bowes both there. Mueller went up first. A sensational sky. But still work to do. Reset to Ben Yonkers. That's the type of grab you need to make in a game like this. Another contested one. It's high, it's over one Mooncatcher and off the hands of another.
Injury called by Spoppins. I thought he was going to get there. And getting a bit Wild West here from the Mooncatchers. Ref went up too early.
Wonder if he jammed his wrist on the landing.
I think he's also very happy not to play defense here, Spoppins.
Well, he'd be more happy if he had caught that score to tie the game, because now Ring has another break chance. Their first break chance, remember, was after the Phillips drop in the other end zone. Ring march it down pretty routinely to score. Noah Saul will quarterback the start of this D-line offensive run. Eric Taylor to the middle of the field for Liam Searles Bowes. Here's Weaver. Up the line, it's Fairfax. Searles Bowes is going. Instead, it's Bloodworth underneath. You can just see the system working together, moving in unison. Feels like someone's open for every thrower by stall two, and Weaver hops into the end zone. Another break for Ring.
Ring now with a commanding 2-point lead early in this game. And their D-line offense, they look like an O-line out there when they picked up that disc. They do not look like a traditional D-line. Mueller ascending into orbit here. That was a fantastic grab, and that's what is going to keep them in this game. Those kind of athletic bids, but they need to make them, and weren't able to come down with that catch.
Eric Taylor is one of those guys that's just so tough to stop when he's going every other. And Weaver has certainly come into his own. Seth Weaver and Paul Arter's teammates on Chicago Machine previously. Weaver moving to North Carolina for graduate school and has been a great addition for Carolina Ultimate.
See Mooncatchers mixing up their O-line, something they've done a little bit in this tournament. Usually when the chips are down, we see Orlovskas come onto the O-line. That's happening now. You saw Weaver there chilling out, having a bit of a rest, and that's the advantage Ring have. They can bring on another 7 fresh D-line specialists, really athletic players to put more pressure on this Mooncatcher side.
Well, Ben Dameron, who was so dominant offensively in the college semis and finals this past May in Milwaukee, launches the gigantic backhand pull. Still waiting for Arvids Orlovskas to put his finger marks on this game, Liam. They need him. Number 99 in white. He's got it now. Dylan Hawkins, another young phenom, sets the mark. This is Auchinski. Swinging the disc, it's low, but ref Yonkers runs it down. Here's Orlovskis. Liam's called him the best young thrower in the entire world. To Arders. Crossfield hammer, ref Yonkers has Orlovskis going and perfectly placed. There might have been easier choices for ref Yonkers there, but he threaded the needle with ease. And an important hold for the Mooncatchers. They're back within one.
As soon as you bring Orlovskis on the O-line, it changes the dynamic and feel of this O-line. You can see Ring shouting shooter every time he got the disc, and then you're almost forcing him under as well. So he just opens up the field. Just his presence alone changes the feel of this Mooncatchers O-line. But they need breaks, and if they're playing offense, they can't have them on the D-line. That's the kind of trade-off they've had to make sometimes. And I said he's going, just I said that he's going back out there 2 points in a row for Orlovskis. But you wonder how often he could do that. He's not going to be able to play every point of the game. And it's getting those trade-offs. You have the likes of Bansfield, Orlovskis, Onslaught on the D-line. And they may not make a big impact, but maybe just having one big play, one break opportunity, that's what they're there for, those key small moments. An offside being called.
That's the age-old question, you know, what percentage is he from a conditioning standpoint after playing a point or two in a row, and is his 86.3% better than the 100% option on the bench? Maybe. Only they can make that call. Ref Yonkers, by the way, has thrown 4 goals, 4 assists among the 5 Mooncatchers scores. Ring back on O, and Lanier shoots it. Crossfield. Henry Fisher in pursuit, but he's going to run out of room. And a mistake by Dylan Lanier.
I really wanted to see that air battle between the two big men, but drifted out of bounds.
This is the second break chance for Mooncatchers. They're 0 for 1. Ring is 2 for 2 in break chances thus far. That last giveaway, just the 5th turnover of the game. Over the stack, Bansfield's gonna have to make a play, and it's Orlovskis drilling Williams as he skied. Arguably a dangerous play, but possession still for the Mooncatchers.
Possibly dangerous, definitely exciting.
No question. Orlovskis using every inch of his lanky, youthful frame, but that one incomplete past the outstretched arm of the diving Didzis Malderis.
Opportunity goes a-begging for Mooncatchers. Looked like they had that one in the bag.
You know, the thrower wants it back. You know, the receiver wishes he'd take one more half step perhaps before bidding. Ring deep in its own territory. Imagine the crowd might enjoy seeing a Callahan here, Liam.
Orlovskis is back there anyway.
Here's Gusho Hannes to Yannick. Lanier coming under. And Fisher continues. The string with Fisher shooting it. Williams near that pylon. Bansfield can't get it. Greatest attempt from Williams. And he got it back in the field of play. But it's the second turn of the point for the Ring offense.
We're getting all the plays at this point. Goes for that spiraling twister catch and the greatest attempt. I think that was legitimate greatest. It's going to end up actually helping Moon getting into the center of the field, but you love to see it.
Slightly similar play to the Khalif El Salam phone moment on the sidelines at Worlds when Jack was striving for a disc that was tailing out of bounds. This one much more necessary to attempt that greatest, but how many of those is Jack going to get here in these marquee moments? Timeout taken. Mooncatchers about to have their 3rd break chance, 2nd to this particular point, Liam. In a game that continues to zig and zag back and forth with drama and intensity.
A semi-final shootout on our hands, Evan. And you compare it to the game yesterday, we had a lot of clean holds and then just a couple of turnovers at one point, just kind of losing their rhythm, both teams, but providing us with plenty of interesting moments. That's Tom Appleton. That is a thrust throw to his Latvian compatriot, and he got up and over Williams there.
Squashed him on the landing, but Jack appears to be okay. And the turnover out of the reach of Malderas on the goal line.
That's the three Latvians on this line. They need to use that chemistry that they have as club teammates to sail this ship into port. They really need a break back, at least one before half.
I asked you this off the air yesterday, Liam. It's interesting that these three top Latvians joined the Belgian squad. You wonder if Latvia can be rising to being a player on the European stage as well.
They have some fantastic players. They've actually beaten Clapham before with their club team Salaspils, but they only have about 7 to 10 players at that level. Money is a big issue for them, as it is for lots of countries all over the world trying to attend these events that half the team can't afford to go, and then it just ends up disintegrating. Oh, and
foul on the throw, no contest. Yannick fouling on Salon.
Yes, that's been a struggle. So I'm actually kind of happy to see Latvians here. I don't think they had an option of going with their club. And, you know, those guys play great ultimate, and it's great to have them here. I feel differently maybe about some of the other pickups on this team, but... And in fairness, Latvians actually played with them for the majority of the season, played Windmill, played Thomas Turney. I think Malderas has actually moved to Belgium, has played with them at Belgium Nationals, so you got to give him a bit more credit for that. Di Marie, the 21-year-old who's been fearless this tournament, doesn't look phased at all by whoever he's matching up against.
Back to the time of the infraction, I don't know what. So it was quite a while. It was quite a while.
If I said 5 at the time of the infraction, it should come in on what?
Stalling 6.
Okay. I think it's.
What stall were you at when they threw it?
When he threw it,
yeah.
I had just said 6.
So yeah, it should be. It should. Yeah, it was 3 seconds ago or so.
Okay, so it should be 5.
5 is good. All right, 5 is good. Coming out 5.
Again, this is a break chance. The second of the point for the Mooncatchers. Here's Arvids Orlauskas. Launching long. And that's caught just shy of the end zone. And there's the first break for the Mooncatchers. It's Malderas.
The Latvians strutting their stuff here. And you know Arvids Orlauskas is going to get you a break at some stage. His throwing prowess, his physical presence. And it's the other Latvian, Didzis Malderas, getting that one. And you know, I don't know if you played video games in the past, maybe FIFA or one of these kind of games that give you stats of players, and maybe 99 is the top. I think if you actually looked at the throwing capabilities, the jumping, he's 99 in all of them, Arvids Orlauskas. But that's not what Ultimate's all about. It's decision making, it's awareness, it's chemistry, it's timing, and he's really growing that side of his game.
Incredibly toolsy, and he'll continue to mature, but as we've seen, it's not like this moment is too big for him or any of this Mooncatchers squad. We're tied at 6, Liam. Ring still has a 1 break advantage.
They will be starting on offense in the second half as well, so Moon would love to try and get this break back now. It will be big if Ring can hold on to their break into the second half.
It's like an extra half break. Who takes half first? Oscar near the sideline, landing in bounds, zipping it for Williams, who bobbles and drops it. But what happened? Williams picked it up and immediately tossed it back, communicating with his defender, Don Desmarais.
Had an impact on the play. I just stopped playing because I heard it go
If you stop playing, it's fair to say that the impact so
Yeah,
should go back. If it stopped playing.
I didn't stop playing. Okay.
I think
I heard you call fouls. So
I mean
yeah, just gonna catch this and give it back. Yeah, playing.
right.
I'm gonna stop regardless. You call foul, right?
yeah. If you try to catch it and you drop it.
I mentally turned it off.
Sure.
Interesting.
Is you accepting the foul? Yeah, he's got it all right. Are you accepting the foul? That was the only question I had. Okay, so it's still count +1. It's an accepted foul. Still count +1.
That is not my assessment of the situation.
What
Jack
do you
Williams
think?
saying he stopped playing. Well, he definitely went to catch the disc and ran towards it. Don't know if that counts as stop playing. I think if he caught it, he would have argued he kept playing.
It's a reasonable take. Only Jack knows what was truly in his mind right there. Nevertheless, Ring maintains possession. Big bid from Desmarais. Lanier to Gush Johannes. Taylor makes himself available. Gooch goes the other way. Lanier back to Williams. This little tic-tac-toe offense down the field. Lanier, a bluff, a throw, and a score. Gush Johannes smacks it off his bum one more time, and Ring within one of taking half.
Those glutes have seen a lot of action this week. Don't know if he's tackled any discs yet.
Little push off right before the cut.
Now, if Williams had pulled up entirely, I would understand his argument, but for me, he kept running towards the disc and dropped it. Maybe in the back of his head, he's just heard a foul and is thinking he's stopping playing, but that seems like a get out of jail free card for Jack Williams to me. Now, he's very spirited in the Orlovsky's call earlier, so give him credit for that, and I think he's a very spirited player.
Hi, Matt. Yeah, it's an interesting play, Liam. I mostly agree with you. It did look like Williams, he hopped to catch the disc. There was no casual nature to his pursuit of the disc. Now, it's very rare for him to not make a clean clap catch on a wide open dish to his belt. Interesting stuff. Hopefully not the difference in the game. Mooncatchers back on O. Ben Yonkers. This is Mueller. This O-line has been somewhat steady, a couple crucial mistakes, and that's all it has taken to create just that slight separation in this first half. Orlovskis is out there on O for this particular point, being guarded by Searles Bowes. It's Fairfax on Ref Yonkers, which is just a matchup made for TV. Orlovskis surveying options. Here's Ochinsky. And a floater. Fairfax riding the back of Ref Yonkers there. Feller to Ben. And that big high backhand fake opened up the open side. Arders is in the end zone.
Brilliant hold from Mooncatchers. That was almost a universe point line, I think, for them. They realized that if they could score, great. They can maybe call a timeout, and yeah, see the timeout being called here, and they can stack the line again. If they got scored on, well, they're going to take a break anyway. So it was a good opportunity to get some really good players out there and not run the risk of having them to play too much. So those break opportunities right before half is something that you can try and attack. And you saw that. You see this fake for the scooper, and you have to believe that with the Mooncatchers. They've thrown so many of them. You do have to be thinking that the overhead is coming. And one of the reasons why Ben Yonkers is so good at this is because he's so tall. The man, you don't see too many, I think 6'4", 6'5" handlers, and his release points are quite high, and it catches out handler marks quite a lot.
I said it yesterday, but more and more, he reminds me of a young Alex Nord, who was a star for Carleton, national champion, world champion for Seattle Sockeye.
kind of almost a team of Alex Nords, this Mooncatcher side.
It's a good team. Well, I guess for the first time, I'll use this phrase. I've never said Galaxy Point myself on a broadcast before, but I've heard it a bunch over the past few weeks. So we'll see if the team with the Apollo logo on their shirts can win the Galaxy here against the team that is forever paying tribute to Johnny Cash.
European Ultimate making its impact on and off the field. Definitely a phrase you hear more in Europe, the Galaxy Point. Kind of a polarizing term, but I like polarizing things, so I think that's why I say it. I don't know if I like it, but I like that it's polarizing.
Arvid Zorlovskis will pull. Ring with an opportunity to receive here on consecutive points. Regardless what happens here, they'll be receiving after halftime. All right, Orlovskis pulls out of bounds.
And the pulls were on the money yesterday. That's 2 bricked pulls from Mooncatchers in this game. That was something that really helped build those break opportunities, Orlovskis' pulls.
And I wondered maybe Eric Taylor might cross over, but no, they're sticking with the same O-line 7 with Yannick Goucho-Hannes, Lanier, Mitchell, Williams, Osgar, and Fisher. Williams slipped on the initial cut, guarded by Mansfield. Goucho-Hannes finds Lanier in the backfield. Ref Yonkers out there defensively as well, chasing Lanier.
Looks like a 3-person weave here. The stack completely gone downfield, and a 3-on-3 game happening currently.
And Ring really being pressured in this space. Some nifty throws to gain some positive yards. Another cheeky lefty backhand there from Lanier, and then Oscar has to rip that one away from the striving Beekmans. But Ring has worked it down. It's amazing how quickly they can look like they're in trouble and then go downfield and be in the red zone. Just 3-4 quick, snappy throws later.
Yeah, that was an incredible game of 3-on-3 there for a minute or two. Very intense. Love to see it.
No contest in the foul on the mark by Tom Zabeltons. Yannick just makes it look easy. Quick flip, Lanier, and Ring takes half, 8-7 in this men's semifinal, with the winner advancing to take on the winner of the Pony Clapham game.
Dylan Lanier, the reigning table tennis champion of this Ring of Fire side. They've been hitting up the ping pong table in preparation for this game. And he did well in that 3-person weave. Lanier had a big role there in that point. You can see they're going for small ball there. At one point it was Lanier and Jack Williams playing small ball, and while the Cutters are gone downfield, but they take half.
Just for perspective, 15 points in this game, in the same time they've taken 11 points in Clapham Ring. Clapham Pony. Ring here leads 8-7.
There is a place where we are us at our best.
A place where everyone is welcome.
Regardless of age, shape, skin color, or anything else that tries to box people in.
A place where we defy the odds, defy the naysayers,
and even defy gravity.
A place where it's accepted that success
doesn't belong to the faint-hearted. It belongs to the brave, to the determined.
A place that knows grit, knows grace, knows bright lights, and knows empty bleachers.
A place where we remember to laugh,
where we learn to trust,
learn to high-five strangers,
and eventually even learn to fly.
A place where character, community, and competition
are all as balanced as a disc in flight.
That place isn't in a stadium or on a field.
That place is in the spirit of our players.
Because we don't just play Ultimate, We live Ultimate.
Beautiful day for Ultimate with a berth in the championship on the line. 8-7 Ring leads in a first half that had just 7 total turnovers. Let's hear from the Mooncatchers. Down on the field, Katie Killebrew.
I'm here with
Pierre-Alain.
And you're one of the leaders for this Mooncatcher side. You're down 1 at half. Feeling some fatigue, a couple of injuries. What are you looking to do in this second half?
Yeah, obviously we're 1 behind, so they're starting on offense for the second half. I think we're going to make a couple of adjustments on defense mainly. I think our O-line is okay. We're doing fine. Just a couple of missed throws. On D, we're getting the turns. I think it's really in the red zone, the last pass that we missed. We missed it twice. So yeah, a couple of small adjustments, but I think we're fine. Obviously we had one injury at the beginning of the game. It's mainly due to the fatigue after so intense week. We had very intense games the past couple of days on Universe. So yeah, feeling a bit tired, but I think the rest of the team still have the legs to make it.
Awesome. We saw some video of your home crowd absolutely losing their minds after your Universe Point win. What does it mean to feel the support here at Worlds and from your home community?
It's amazing. Honestly, I mean, to all the people out there watching us, huge shout out and a huge thanks because we're getting all this vibe from Belgium, and it's like if they were here with us, and so it's great. We're definitely pumped up, and we're really using that energy in all of our games. We're feeling great, and now let's make it for the second half.
All right, we'll see if that sideline support and energy can spur you on in this game. Good luck, and I'm going to send it back to you, Evan.
Yeah, Katie, great stuff. Thanks so much to Pierre-Alain Delamindebec as he shares some insight about what this run has been like. You said it, Liam, 7 total turnovers compared to the 15 total goals. Mooncatchers have actually had 1 more break chance than Ring has had, but obviously not as efficient, and that is the difference.
Yeah, very little between these two teams at the moment, but advantage to Ring of Fire as they'll be coming out on offense and looking to get a 2-point lead. I think Mooncatchers just need to stay within touching distance. It's not too bad if they remain 1 point down, but can't let Ring take an early lead in the second half.
Well, the game began with 7 clean holds on the first 8 points. There are only 4 clean holds on the last 7 points. A little bit more back and forth. 8-7, Ring trying to get to its first World Championship final.
The last 50 years have seen a lot of positive change
around a whole range of important issues.
And some things remain reassuringly unchanged.
Like the spirit of our game.
Ultimate is 50 years young
and still a perfect circle
of fair play,
athletic pursuit,
and camaraderie.
In fact, Ultimate was a social network
before social networks even existed.
Respetamos nuestras diferencias
and understand the value that they add.
The revolution of the disc in flight continues to prove
that there's nothing we can't achieve
when we pull together.
Long live Ultimate.
Larga vida Ultimate.
Long live Ultimate.
Mooncatchers getting fired up for the start of the second half. They trail by 1, and they will start on defense. They have proven, though, that they can break Ring. 1 break for the Mooncatchers, 2 breaks for Ring of Fire. One piece that the Mooncatchers will presumably be without the rest of the way, Liam, is Benoit Spoppins, who went down in the first half. Told he's really struggling to raise his arm, so it's unlikely we'll see him again. And look, the Mooncatchers, in a way, have been their own worst enemy. This is the first point of the game, a catch to take a 1-0 lead, and just a stone-cold stunner of a drop. Couple other missed opportunities in the end zone. I mean, they only have 4 turns, but they're down a break.
Yeah, if you're taking stats, it's all drops essentially from the Mooncatchers. I don't know if Ring have got anywhere near getting a block. So, need to battle against their own minds. And we look at this Mooncatchers side. We've seen big plays from the likes of Orlovskis, from Paul Arders. Gail Onslon has stepped up. I'm waiting for Johnny Bansfield to do. I feel like he's the lion waiting in the long grass to make his moment in this tournament.
We shall see. He's out there now, along with Orlovskis defensively. Oscar catching the under, picked up by Orlovskis. Back to Gusho Hannes. So steady in the backfield. Since Matt Gusho Hannes started his high school career, he's never entered a tournament where he didn't at least make semis. Isn't that incredible? Here's the deep shot from Williams. Oscar has steps. It's a floater though. Orlovskis with a bit of a dangerous bid into Oscar's back. And Ryan Oscar hangs on for the hold to put Ring up by 2.
Oscar doing fantastic there to get up early and ride the pressure from Arvids Orlovskis. Didn't really have a play on that. You see Oscar didn't look too happy with the contact.
It's interesting, Matt Gusho Hannes after the play went up to Orlovskis and very calmly talked to him about it. It was floating up there. You can understand the desire to give everything you've got. Thankfully, no one got hurt. He tried to go to the right of Oscar, but obviously making some contact, which is discouraged by the official rules.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, Liam, thinking back to the final at USAU Nationals last October, it was Universe Point. Obviously, the game ended on an Oscar Huck to Jack Williams. There is a split second when Oscar released it where I kind of cringed in the broadcast booth and thought, they don't need that right now. This is risky. And of course, it was a perfect throw. Williams hauled it in. The celebration began, and it worked. And those two guys have a brilliant connection with one another. But I will never forget the true initial feeling I had when that throw went up, even though he looked open, which is to think maybe an 80% shot is not what they wanted in this particular moment.
I've always called it the Davida play, the Davida Mori. I really like it. Universe Point, starting offense, throw it to your best receiver deep. I find it's almost easier to start on defense in those Universe Point situations that you're basically doing Huck and D. Give your best receiver a shot. I find teams actually get too nervous, start swinging over back and don't grab the bull by the horns. I kind of like that play. I understood why they went for it.
That's a great point. Liam Searles-Bowes was very near a foot block there on Paul Arders. Different look here defensively from Ring with Searles-Bowes, Weaver, and Mataraju. The initial wave, Elijah Long, Ethan Bloodworth, Jake Fairfax, the middle defenders, and Walker Matthews patrolling the deep space. So far, Mooncatchers up to the task. There's the hammer testing Matthews and landing in the end zone for the Mooncatchers, Victor Auchinski.
Auchinski, a classic offensive player, and you've often asked me to compare these Belgians to someone similar in North America. I'd compare Auchinski to Sam Little.
Interesting.
That kind of offensive player who grinds out unders, who does the right thing. Sometimes his job is to be a secondary cutter and complement the rest of the team, and he does that so well.
Little chatter there between Auchinski and Matthews after the point. Conversation continuing between Noah Saul and Matthew Muller, two leaders of their respective teams. Any idea what that was about?
can see the intensity starting to bubble over. There's been a bit of contact. I think that's been not anything particular at that point, but there's been a bit more contact on the play. We saw the Orlovskis bid. We've seen a few bits of action which they're getting to know each other a little bit better. But overall, the spirit's been fine so far.
Mooncatchers used to playing close games. They beat Goat 15-14 in the round of 16. And then the unforgettable win over Seattle Sockeye, also 15-14. Ring has had a couple of 15-13 games, beating Goat and Clapham by that margin. 15-10 win for Ring against Cusp Lafota from Bologna, Italy in the quarterfinals. Ring routing KFK, the Danish team, in the round of 16 to get to the quarters. Here's Fisher in the red zone already. Uh-oh. Hamstring tweak, it looks like, from Vandenbroek. The 21 shirt. And slowly he'll strut off the field. This Ring O-line, Liam, it's amazing how simple and easy they make this offense look. What do you notice most about the Ring offense?
I give them the greatest compliment in that I say that they're very boring. And I do mean that as a compliment. They just have good connection and chemistry with their handlers, work the upline so much, and Jack Williams is kind of a cheat code in that position. They bring him back into the handler space sometimes.
Gushohannes, low throw. Oh, Yannick just narrowly kept that one up. That was very close. Good pivot from Gushohannes, creating space against his mark. That one floats up there. There was contact on the mark. Gushohannes called it immediately. And this will be Ring's disc. No contest on the mark from John Bickmans. I love Gushohannes' fundamentals. The balance, the pivot. So smooth. Another low throw. Right around the same part of the field where they footblocked Dylan Freechild yesterday. And oh, close, maybe a fingertip on the disc, but Lanier still able to make the catch as two Mooncatchers collide, unsuccessfully so. And it's 10-8 Ring here in the second half.
And again, that small offense working so effectively for this Ring side. And Lanier again getting involved, but it's Gushohannes, Yannick Williams, a lot of time in the handler space. Mooncatchers really can't get near him. Onslon throwing himself around like a sack of spuds, but not getting his hand near the disc. And we've seen him turn over quite a couple of times on hucks, actually, Ring. They've kind of reined that in. And I think there's going to be another break soon because both offenses trading upwind now. So Mooncatchers will have to go upwind on offense. Ring just did it there, but you feel it's going to be tough for both teams to continue to do that. One is eventually going to get that break going downwind.
If we're praising the Ring offense, it's boring but beautiful. What words would you use to describe the Mooncatchers offense?
I'd say chaotic and beautiful as well.
Exhilarating. No Orlovskis this point. It's the standard 7. Mueller, Yonkers, and Yonkers. Appletons out there with Arters, Phillips, and Feller. Also Achinsky. Every O point feels like a must hold here if you're Mooncatchers. And frankly, they had a lot of these pressure pack points in both their bracket games, and they've handled them very well. They have been incredibly poised and precise. And it's funny, I understand why you look at them as like at any moment that full field, cross field Scuba could go up, but their discipline in terms of making the right choice, I don't know if we're giving them enough credit for that.
And as the tournament's progressing, this is their 4th stream game. They've really started reining in those Scubas a little bit.
That's a difficult throw. It's floating, and it is incomplete. The Yonkers brothers do not connect. Arters goes flying and comes up empty. First turn of the second half, just the 8th total turn of the game. Nethercutt. Out there with Taylor, Lynch. Deep shot goes. Davis, their target. Alex Davis, clean clap catch. And another break for North Carolina as Ring extends its lead.
Massive break for Ring. Davis turns on those jet boosters again. Wasn't even much separation there. I think he was almost going to slow down, but just a trust throw to the speedy receiver. And a brotherly disconnection there. They like that big up the line cut, the Yonkers brothers. Had to get that throw up and around Muller. Davis maximizing his speed, and things get very tough for Mooncatchers now. They needed to be the team to get that downwind break, but it's Ring who extend their lead.
Beautiful shot from Eric Taylor as well, putting it where he exactly knew Alex Davis would be. So 11-8, Ring gets its third break. They're 3 for 3 in break chances in the game.
And at this point, you wonder how many points can Ref Yonkers play or Lovskis play. I remember being at this tournament 4 years ago, and a Badskid team with Holger Beutmuller and Nico Mueller played every point in the second half. And then they collapsed the next day and couldn't really play again. But you wonder how much Orlovskis can do it. They played only one game yesterday, possibly only one game today. How much points can those star players play?
Another mistake. The slip for Desmarais. The throw is behind him out of the hands of Ref Yonkers. And an opportunity for Ring to really twist the knife. Noah Saul for Suraj Mataraju. Right back to Saul, the longtime captain of Ring. And Noah could meet his brother in the finals tomorrow, just like in the USAU finals last October. Searles Bowes for Suraj Mataraju. And here's Seth Weaver. It's funny, Liam, it doesn't matter whether it's the O-line or the D-line. Ring often looks the same with the disc. Whether it's Gooch and Yannick, or Noah Saul and Liam Searles Bowes, it's Mataraju in the end zone, holding the Frisbee high as Ring takes one step closer to the finals.
Absolutely ruthless, this D-line offense. Ring of Fire, we see the booing and the thumbs down. And I love it. I remember them doing that 4 years ago as well. And it's part of their identity. And you know, some people might not like it, but I think it's a bit of fun.
Well, the truth is, Ring was a team that built their identity on being fiery and intimidating and playing right up to the edge of the line for so many years. I think this team doesn't play like that necessarily anymore, but they play into the identity from a theatrical standpoint, Liam, and the small ball has been unstoppable.
Yeah, we're used to seeing highlight packages of massive skies and, you know, huge throws. This has been a sequence of 5-yard passes, which doesn't seem as exciting, but it definitely wins you matches, and they're really, really good at it, Ring.
Osgar and Davis have caught a couple of hucks, but it'd be interesting to go back and see the average length of the goal-scoring throws, because there's been at least a half dozen of the 12 goals that have been less than 5-yard throws, maybe less than 2-yard throws from the goal line into the front of the end zone. Mark Rovner preparing to pull. Ring using its depth. This is what I meant by D1, D2, D3. And an excellent pull from Rovner. Lands with a blade, rolls out the back. Gal Ancelon will initiate from his own goal line. And it looks like the wall of defenders getting ready to meet him. Coming up in the women's semifinals, a rematch of last year's USA Ultimate semifinal that went to Universe. Fury and Phoenix. Incredibly excited for that game. Coming up at approximately 3 p.m. Eastern Time, 53 minutes from now. non-North American teams in the other women's semi, Liam. Ellipsis from Australia and Revolution from Medellin, Colombia. I think it's been a successful week, all things considered, for international teams. In the mixed division, of course, it's Seattle versus Vancouver in the finals, which feels like an old standby, but that does not tell the story of the chaos in the mixed division this week. And in the men's division, 2 European semifinalists, Clapham from the UK and these Mooncatchers, who have captured the hearts of the fans around the world. Trying to stop Ring's 3-0 run since it was 9-8. Arders for the end zone. And I think he landed in. Yes, Christoph Phillips makes it 12-9.
Keeps his hands firmly on that one. See that first kind of zony look from Ring. And some great offensive play there from Arders and Oslon, having to do a bit of small ball of their own, which is not traditionally what they do, but we're able to get a clean hole there.
It's hard not to be impressed with Arders' vision as a thrower. He just sees and goes faster than the average elite handler in this sport. So what's the recipe here for Mooncatchers defensively? I mean, we've seen them go on runs.
I think they have to break now. This is they have the wind on their backs. They're going to have to stop the bleeding soon. I'd like to see them put on a star line. They have some timeouts in their back pockets. Use them to stack the lines.
Arvids Orlovskis preparing to pull.
I think it's trying to stop this Ring of Fire small ball. Make them throw a hook.
Calmly fielded on a hop by Gush Johanna, centers to the front line. And here's Oscar. Fisher, the next cutter. Every throw seemingly perfect. Another one to Lanier. Davis is free. The throw goes up quick, and it's perfectly placed by Lanier. And Alex Davis has been the unsolvable mystery for the Mooncatchers defense.
You might think it was blown coverage, but he's just that fast, Davis. Leaving everyone in the dust behind him. They do not have an answer for Davis right now.
You see Davis on the right side of your screen. Just a quick poach, and they pay the price. Lanier released that so fast. For a second, I thought he may have missed the mark, but no, it was perfect. Still just 3 turnovers in the game for Ring of Fire compared to their 13 goals. And again, it's not like Mooncatchers has played a ridiculously sloppy game, Liam. They have 9 goals, 6 turns. But Ring has capitalized on every break chance. They're 4 for 4.
Mooncatchers need to have the game of their lives. And they've been playing very well, but just not to the same standard as Ring. I think Ring probably benefiting from having 3 games of footage to watch Mooncatchers and get their matchups and adjust their tactics. Mike Donardis now here, wasn't here earlier on the week, but is here now to influence the game with his coaching.
And there's some very savvy ultimate minds on this Ring roster who have done a lot of coaching. I mean, that's the pipeline that they have built in North Carolina. Donardis started about a decade ago, paying it forward, and that has reaped major dividends. And look, we've seen North Carolina sweeps in college ultimate 2021 and 2022. Obviously, Ring of Fire won their first national title last year. Phoenix made the semis for the first time in this era. And here we are with about 26, 27 hours to go in the World Championships, and the top men's team from North Carolina, the top women's team from North Carolina are still alive. Obviously, Phoenix with a difficult test against the favorite San Francisco Fury. That's a clean block. Dameron gets a piece of it, just running through. And Ring can stretch the lead to 5 here. Taylor bluffs a hammer. Looks back for Elijah Long. Little throw and go. Long elevates the Hall in the Taylor shot. E.T. to the end zone. Charlie McCutcheon makes it 14-9.
And all of a sudden, after a very close game in the first half, Ring pulling away here. Mooncatchers making mistakes they haven't done in any other game, but it's fantastic defensive pressure from the likes of Ben Dameron. The whole squad getting involved. They're making their mark. As you see, there's just a little hand. I don't know if you even saw the disc there, just using his mind to read the moment. Looks like a timeout is being called and a mountain to climb here for the Mooncatchers. And talking about North Carolina, is that now the big hub of Ultimate in the US? I think it's been San Francisco in the past, or Seattle, or that's been thrown around a lot, but what's your take on it?
It's certainly up for debate. There's no question that North Carolina is rising, and it, you know, in some ways it feels like we're in the early moments of the dynasty. Like maybe 5-10 years from now we'll get there. I don't know if you could say it's number one right now, but it feels like it will be number one in the near future. Perhaps by tomorrow if Ring and Phoenix can both win the world.
Yeah, it's looking good for this Ring of Fire side right now. And looking at dynasties, I think there's one happening in Belgium right now. We're seeing the early stages of it. This isn't the end. This isn't the end of a program. This is just the beginning for the Mooncatchers. I think you'd look at Bologna as well. Europe starting to make its own dynasties and start to rise to the same level. Ring of Fire just maybe a little step above right now.
Well, it's a must-score time for Paul Arvids Orlauskas and the rest of the Mooncatchers. You see San Francisco Fury warming up. Kayla Helton, Carolyn Finney, Jesse O'Connor, Anna Nazaroff, Opie Payne, and the rest of the all-star team that they continue to build. I mean, obviously they still have a lot to prove, but I think this might be one of the most talented Fury rosters ever. And they've won 12 national titles and a world championship over the past few decades. Pull sail and OB. Moon will start from the brick. By the way, Pony Clapham has stayed tight. 10-8. Pony continues to lead. Largest lead of the game was 3 for Pony. They led 5-2 early, and they've been trading back and forth ever since. Here it was 9-8 in the second half before Ring broke it open. 3 second half breaks on 3 break chances. They're 5 for 5 in the game, and they might have a chance to win it here, but no, it's Ben Yonkers hauling it in near the sideline. I think everybody in the sidelines, Liam, is hoping for one more memorable highlight here from the Mooncatchers offense that has given just so many thrills to the fans who have appreciated their style and flair, their big playability. Right now they're taking a page out of the Ring book until the shot over the top. Arlauskas skies for the score.
Arlauskas still got it, showing what he can do in the air. Is it too little, too late? Surprised they haven't looked for more in this game.
Me too.
You know, they've had their tactics spot on for most of the tournament. I feel at times they didn't utilize this Latvian weapon.
Well, in some ways, I mean, this has been a interesting week because they've been getting to know each other all week long and learning exactly the limits to his powers and learning how little those limits are.
I'm not sure if he's going to walk to the line now, but for me, it's to play every point. I don't see how you can leave him off. You know, different sort of days, but we've all played a bit of college ultimate and had to play 5 or 6 points in a row. It can be done. Not sure if it's good for the body.
Orlovskis heading to the sideline. Ring can win it here on offense with Gush, Johannes, and Yannick, Williams and Osgar, Fisher, Davis, and Mitchell. Mitchell coming underneath. Williams to Osgar. Shooting it for Fisher. For a spot in the finals, yes indeed. And Ring continues its demolition through the men's division. They are now 9-0 after this 15-10 win over the Mooncatchers.
Henry Fisher strutting his way to the final. Haven't seen him go too deep too much in that game, but when he does, he's a force to be reckoned with. He just gallops his way to the end zone.
Such long strides, so sure-handed. Osgar, the throwing artist, blades in that game winner, and a convincing performance for Ring. And look, the Mooncatchers will battle for bronze, Liam, later this afternoon. They still have a chance to win some hardware and take a medal back to Brussels. They hopefully will be back and even better in 3-4 years, because it was marvelous to watch them. They were outclassed today by Ring, but just a few critical mistakes are the things that they will reflect upon as they look back on this game.
I'm sure they're disappointed now, but an unbelievable tournament and a fan favorites, the Mooncatchers. And as you said, Ring just too good for them in the end. And I think they had their tactics right. That small ball, Mooncatchers did not have an answer for. And Mooncatchers, I think, be very happy. This is, I think, a lot further than they got than a lot of people would have guessed. A lot of them would have guessed. I was chatting them before the game, and they were just happy. They were happy to be in this moment, enjoy it. I think for them, it's being mentally switched on now for that bronze medal game. That would be massive for Europe, massive for the Mooncatchers. So that's a mental thing, I think.
Well, Ring now 9-0, outscoring their opponents 135-75. 15-10, they beat the Mooncatchers, and Eric Taylor is standing by with Katie Killebrew.
Hi there, Eric. Really big win for y'all. What does it feel like in this semifinal action here at World Games?
I think in a lot of ways it really feels like just sort of a culmination of a lot of things we worked forward to for the whole week and for the season. Obviously we're not done yet, but this whole tournament is such a unique experience for team togetherness and closeness and love and drive and all the things that make playing Frisbee worth playing.
And you're here from Ohio. Does this World Games hit a little bit differently than your other international experience because it's almost a hometown tournament for you?
I mean, it's obviously really exciting to come back here. I think, yeah, it does, because I haven't been back in a long time, and it's, I really want to, give shout outs to all the Ohio community that I played in. I played YCC like on this field complex when I was, 16, 17, and I really want to just appreciate that experience because it's been so formative for me.
Awesome. Your defensive line as this captain really anchored that game, I think nearly perfect in that game. What does it mean to you going into tomorrow with that kind of defensive intensity?
I think in a lot of ways it's sort of what we expect ourselves to do. I mean, obviously, like, Championship Ultimate is all about, having high standards and high accountability, and I think that we've been playing well so far this tournament, and I'm not super surprised to see it work out that way. I have a huge amount of trust, and I'm really proud of the line we have, so I'm super excited. We got a good day today, and just carry that momentum into tomorrow.
Sounds great. You guys have one of the loudest sidelines. I can't wait to hear you cheer on the other North Carolina team, Raleigh Phoenix, which is coming up next on this field. I'm going to send it back to you in the booth as we continue our coverage here. Evan.
Great stuff, Katie. Appreciate Eric, and that's a great point. That Eric grew up in this area, played Youth Ultimate on these very fields, and now he'll compete for a World Championship here in Ohio tomorrow. Well, in bracket play, it's been 15-6, 15-10, and 15-10 for Ring. They've outscored their foes 45-26 in 3 elimination games, and they will take on either Pony or Clapham tomorrow. Pony currently leading that game 12-8. Flip over, catch the rest of it with Tom Stiles at the helm. For Liam Grant, I'm Evan Lepler. Ring of Fire ends the great run for the Mooncatchers, 15-10, as Ring advances to the finals.